Thousands of athletic events happen in North Dakota every year, with the number of sports and prep athletes growing by the season. Finding enough officials to work these games has become a problem. There is a shortage of officials in the state of North Dakota. The High School Activities Association, referees, and coaches are all acknowledging the fact that more referees are needed.
We are not getting to a critical stage of shortage of officials. We're already there in the West.
Fewer and fewer young officials are getting in the game, and with many officials beginning to gray, it's only a matter of time before the shortage becomes even more pronounced. School officials such as Jim Hausler are already concerned.
And I look around in a lot of sports, and I look and I think to myself, well, is this person going to be here in 10 years? And the answer many times is no. And then I sit and looking at who's coming in and who's interested in coming in, and the answer is there's a lot of young officials who just aren't interested in it.
The biggest sports in need are football, basketball, hockey, and wrestling.
Williston, Dickinson, Jamestown, they don't have any officials. You know, us in Bismarck, we cover Dickinson, and then we also been out to Jamestown, both boys and girls.
Over the past 25 years, the number of officials in the state of North Dakota has dropped from 1,500 5 years ago to just 1,200 now. Basketball has lost the most. In the past 25 years, the state has lost 200 officials. Yet the number of games continue to rise, leaving some officials overworked, some working 5 nights a week.
The fact that the boys and girls season is exactly the same time has really magnified that. I don't think there's any question about that. You know, there are some officials that have probably worked too many nights, and by the end of the season, you get a little short-fused.
A couple weeks ago, I felt like I need to start telling people no, because I was to the point where I need a break.
Some Class B schools have even had to change dates of their football games from Friday nights to Saturdays just to have access to refs. So now the state finds themselves in a situation. How do they get more fans to leave the stands and take up the stripes? The number of officials in North Dakota has been on a steady decline in recent years. Both Class A and Class B schools know staffing games will only become more difficult in years to come as older officials retire, because currently younger officials are few and far between. As the number of events grow, the number of officials dwindle. There is a huge problem when bringing in younger officials.
Officiating is not for everybody. I mean, you got to be a special person. You got to be able to take some grief, you know, be confident in what you're doing.
Sometimes it's hard when, you know, you have a whole town yelling at you because they thought, you know, you missed a call or you didn't call it correctly for their town.
They're watching the game through their heart and their eyes, where we watch it just through our eyes.
It's the emotions of the game. It's part of the game. You know, they're attacking your call more than they are probably attacking you and your integrity as a person.
I think fans need to realize we may be hanging ourselves if that type of behavior continues.
Money, time, harassment. There's a lot that's keeping potential referees out.
A lot of them think that they can't do it, and a lot of them want to start out doing the state tournament right away the first year. And that's not how it works. You know, you start at the bottom and you work your way up.
Many new officials just don't want the trouble that officiating seems to bring. With the average pay of $50 a game for varsity sports, money isn't bringing people in. So officials are left with another job, recruiting.
If we can get the younger kids to come out and start and try and get them confident early on, feel comfortable with what they're doing, then, you know, there's a lot better chance they're going to stick with it.
School districts can identify younger guys that are sticking around after their high school playing days so that we can get them into officiating.
I think more important is getting somebody hooked on it and developing that love of the, you know, extending the love of the game to the love of officiating.
The opportunities are there. The officials are not. High school coaches and administrators hope the numbers start to rise soon before the quality of officiating drops as low as the number of officials available. To be a registered official in North Dakota, you must complete a rules clinic and complete a test. There are over 1,200 officials in North Dakota. For more information on getting involved in officiating, you can visit www.ndhsaa.com/officials.